Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Infield Chatter. Dugout Bossman, aka Jeremy Kirby, to some with Trumanation. How's it going, Truman?
Going good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, man. My Dodgers are in first place by a million. I'm loving it.
The Rockies are only 2.5 months back. We still have time.
No shot, no shot. Uh, hey, man, this has been fun. I've actually been enjoying doing this. I'm really looking forward to doing this on a daily basis. And
I agree.
it's been a blast. I mean, where else can you go to just chit chat about baseball
Exactly.
and make fun
And
of Ethan?
cuss too, not TV. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. We got Ethan already in the chat, so we can roast him.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So today got a couple topics. Not I don't really feel like much happened yesterday in baseball, so it's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode probably. But let's we had a gentleman in chat yesterday. I can't remember who it was. He went by Philly something.
Phillies. Yeah, Phillies something.
Yeah, probably not here yet, but wanted to talk about yesterday's topic of Pujols. Albert
Yep.
Pujols. Right now, Albert Pujols has 694 home runs.
Yeah, I believe 694, six away. Six away,
He's six
chasing
away.
history. Yes.
Six
And he'd be
away.
what, only the fourth player ever to hit 700?
He'd be the
Is that what it is?
fourth person ever. Yeah, he's got 32 games left. He's the fourth
Yep.
person behind Barry Bonds, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth.
Yep.
So that's quite
Yep.
the company to be in if he does hit 700. But I mean, six home runs with 32 games left. It's and I looked at the schedule. I mean, it's it's very possible. What do you think? And I know you had a little bit of a thing yesterday where you didn't want to spill the beans, but I
Yeah.
actually think it's going to happen. I want to hear your side.
I think it is going to happen as well, and I think it could go either way. I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. But my conspiracy was because Albert Pujols randomly just decided to like turn into prime Albert Pujols after the All Star game, right?
Yeah.
My conspiracy is that MLB was giving St. Louis Cardinals games the juiced baseballs from a few years ago, so
Really?
Albert could break the record.
You think they
That's
were
my
giving him
conspiracy.
juice baseballs? See, when you said conspiracy yesterday, first thing that came in my mind was maybe the pitchers were kind of putting it on a platter for him a little bit. Um, but I mean,
They,
Jesus, did you see that one home run he hit the other night? The pitch was like at his letters,
yeah,
and he hit
nuke.
an absolute nuke to left field. So I don't think anybody's serving him up. And I think as
No,
a competitor, you're trying to get outs anyway. You're not trying to serve up
right?
home runs.
Because he hit like one or two off Mad Bum, and we all know that Mad Bum would be the last guy to just serve up a pitch, you know.
Yeah, very
And
true.
so
So
yeah,
he's got, I think,
it's just weird. I don't know. Just he's going on this tear like this out of nowhere.
mhm. He's I think he's got the Pirates. I think he's got the Pirates left. I think he's got the Reds left. I think he's got a series with the Brewers, so he's gonna probably have to face Corbin Burns. Um, I
And that's the
yeah.
thing. That, like St. Louis, like I'm assuming they're gonna probably play him every game. I know that
Mhm.
earlier in the year he's kind of been like that, you know, left-handed pitcher specialist. Like that's the only
Yeah.
time he starts. So I wonder how many lefties he is gonna see on the mound in the near future, whether
Yeah.
he's starting or not, because he does shred lefties at a
Yeah.
much higher clip than righties. So
Well, do the Reds have any lefties? I don't know if the Reds have any or at least any dominant
Mike
lefties.
Minor. Let's see. Who are they playing in the foreseeable future? Let me get my little app whipped up here.
I know they have the Brewers, the Reds.
Oh wow, look at I'm so good. Mike Minor's on the bump today. I'm so
Really?
good. Mike Minor's on the bump with a 6.10 ERA. Albert's gonna hit one tonight, calling it. Albert's hitting one
Nice.
tonight. Great American Ballpark, insane hitters park.
Hmm.
Mike Minor with 3-10, a 6.10 ERA. Left-handed pitcher. Yeah.
Who do they got
Albert's hitting one
left?
tonight.
Who do they got left? What other series?
Let's look at the schedule here. So they got St. Louis Cardinals. Where are
I
y'all?
think they have what, the Cubs? They have the Cubs, the Nationals.
Yep, they got the Reds today. Then they go and they play Chicago at home. Then they got Chicago at home. Where are we?
Chicago at home, Nationals at home for a 4-game
Yeah,
series.
Nationals at home. They got a bunch of crummy teams. Pirates, 2-game series against the Brewers, Reds again, Padres, Dodgers. So it gets a little tough in there. They got
the Reds
Dodgers, Padres
for 5 games. They got a doubleheader on Saturday against the Reds. So
yeah, they do.
There's a good shot that he hits. I think there's a good shot he hits more than 6. So
he could.
Here's a question for you.
Especially with the Terry's been on. Yeah, let's hear it.
If he hits 6 and gets to 700 even, do you take him out and just let him ride at 700? Is that a feat? Because they're only keeping him in right now.
Well, this is what I would do. If I'm Ollie Marmol, if I'm their manager, if I'm out, you got to play Albert until he gets to 700 if he does. But if he gets to 700, for me, it just turns back into, managing everything like normal. Albert would probably start against lefties because he deserves it, and he's thoroughly been that good against left-handed pitching this year. But I would just throw my manager cap back on at that point. I would look at the numbers, start Albert against lefties, pinch hit if need be. If, late in game you got, again, that left-handed reliever coming in, whatever it may be. So,
how are the Cardinals looking as far as the playoff hunt goes?
I think they're quite a bit up on Milwaukee now.
Are they?
I think they kind of pulled away a bit in that division. They are, they're 6 games up now in the NL Central. Okay. They kind of ran away with that division.
So you got to think that also plays a factor. Like if it was a tight race, and record or not, that's got to be such a hard decision for a manager to like.
That's a hard decision, yeah, because a lot of times if it's a crummy team, like who cares? They'll throw their guys out there going for some sort of record like that. But that's tough if they were hypothetically 1 game up on Milwaukee and Corbin Burns is on the bump and they're playing Milwaukee. Are you going to really start Albert there? Right? I feel like you're not giving yourself your best chance to win, but then, that's taking away ABs for him getting to 700. So it's tough. If it's me, that's so tough. If it's me, if I'm the St. Louis Cardinals manager, I would probably give Albert as many ABs as possible while he's chasing it, just because there are 3 human beings on the planet Earth that have hit 700 home runs in Major League Baseball. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I'd probably give him those ABs.
What about this? What about this scenario? What if you're... I know you were a pitcher only back in the days. You were PO.
Yep.
I've hit a little bit.
Yep.
If I'm Albert Pujols and I'm on a bit of a streak right now, and I'm seeing the ball well, I'm taking good swings, I'm making solid contact, using the big part of the field. If all of a sudden it's getting down, I'm old, I'm starting to break down a little bit, my body's tired. I face Corbin Burns. Do I take a day off? Or do I risk? Do you risk taking an at bat that might be bad and kind of ruin your streak a little bit, right? Because baseball is all about streaks, right? You get in this little hot zone, and the ball looks like a beach ball coming up there. But if I'm Albert and I face a good pitcher and I'm on a hot streak, righty on righty, Corbin Burns is gonna be nasty. I would probably think that they would give him the day off there, just to let him recoup a little bit, not even give him a chance to go 0-4, 0-5, and kind of ruin the momentum and just roll him right into the next game. So I agree. I could see that happening too.
Totally agree. And if you're Albert Pujols, you'd love to see him, take the initiative to go into the manager's office and even start that conversation and be like, hey, I know we got this going on, but feel free to throw in an off day here, just for the sake of the team.
These managers do such a good day, a good job with their players nowadays. Man.
They do.
They're absolutely incredible. I don't think we give managers enough credit, man. We only give them the flack and the shit that comes along with losing and stuff. But these guys have such a tough job to do, and they do a very good job at it.
30 out of 30 managers are good with their guys in the clubhouse, in the locker room, maybe outside of a Tony La Russa, but
That's something we always talked about as coaches, and I'm sure you can attest to this, right?
Yeah.
You're a coach yourself. Being a coach, all it is just managing expectations and managing
Yeah, yeah,
personalities.
it is.
Everybody, when you get to a certain level, especially I would think at least at the collegiate level,
Yeah.
everybody knows the game. Everybody knows the
Yeah.
ins and outs.
Yeah.
They know the X's and O's. They know their swing better than you know their swing because they've been doing it. Um, it's just a matter of managing expectations and managing
Yeah.
personalities at that point. That's really all a
It
head
really
coach
is. It really is. And somewhat of a knowledge about how to manage a bullpen. That's the other thing I'd throw in there. Before we move on, very good question in the chat in regards to Pujols. If he falls 2 or 3 short, Jeremy, do you think he comes back for next season, even though he said he's done?
That's a great question. Jason in chat. I'm old school, and I think if it was me, if I was Albert Pujols, I'm looking at it as, okay, I had a fantastic career. If I hit 699, I think that's something that I would be like, you know what? That was my legacy. I said I'm done when I'm done. This is it. I'm gonna leave it at 699 and call it good. Everybody's still gonna know who I am. Granted,
Yep.
one more home run puts me in an elite group, but you know what?
Yep.
Albert Pujols is already there, regardless if it says 700 or 699.
I totally agree.
I feel like he's right there. So I think he's gonna honor. If it was me, I would honor it. And if I fell short, I fell short. That's the way it was supposed to be.
Well, and I
great
could
question.
be mistaking, but I'm pretty sure literally like 3 days ago, he said something along the lines of like he is done regardless. Like I am
Really?
almost positive that literally a few days ago I saw that he said like I said I'm done, you know.
Now, here's a question for you. I'll spin this around a little bit. What if you're chasing Bonds' all-time record of 762? What if you're at 760 and you retire?
I'm sorry, but if I'm that close to the all-time record, I try to come back and be the greatest.
So the all-time record is maybe a little different.
Yeah, that's because at the end of the day, like, 700 would be cool, but like again, what's the difference between 699 and 700 at the end of the day? You know what I mean?
You sound like Ricky Bobby. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, first, you're last. I actually did find this quote though. This is from August 21st, 10 days ago. I'm still going to retire no matter whether I end up hitting 693, 696, 700, whatever.
Got it. I love it.
So, yep.
I guess it proves how old I am because I'm about the same age as Pujols. But
yeah.
You know what though, man? If it's the all-time record, I think that's a different story. In my mind, I'd be like, okay, if I have the chance to be number one overall, you might have to come back and take it.
Yep.
And you look at a guy like Pujols too, right? Like he's signing these contracts not only to be a player on the field, but they're paying him millions of dollars to be a player coach.
Yeah, clubhouse guy. Yeah,
clubhouse
a mentor. They got a lot of good young players coming up, and it's partially his job to set expectations and culture in the clubhouse and things of that nature. So those guys are very important.
So if he falls short of like an all-time record, and see, here goes my camera again. Oh, I'm back. Okay.
Oh, nice.
So if he falls short of an all-time record and he's only coming back just to break the record, I think that would be a little bit different. But if I'm Pujols, I'm coming up short, but I'm willing to come back for another year, sign a league minimum deal or something like that, and I'm able to contribute as a coach. At least I would feel like I'm providing value to the club.
Yeah,
not just going for a selfish award.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Is he's got to provide some sort of value. But shout out Albert Pujols, the JUCO god.
Was he a JUCO god?
Is he a JUCO bandit? Oh yeah, he is. Yep. That's how he came over to the States. He was a JUCO guy.
God, so many good JUCO players, man. Gotta love it.
I know.
Gotta love it.
Jeremy, did you see what happened last night in your backyard?
In my backyard.
In your backyard at Oracle Field?
Oh my gosh. You know what? It was just a matter of time before an umpire let one slip, right? You put microphones.
We've had a few. Tom
Yeah.
Hellion did it right at the beginning of the year.
Tom Hellion has the best punch out on strike three.
Yeah,
Greatest punch out in all of baseball, all time.
he goes nuts.
He
It's
does the
him, and
uppercut.
there's the guy that does like the
Yeah.
like punching somebody out.
Yeah,
He's
he does.
punching
He does
somebody
the
out.
uppercut. It's awesome. But yeah. So what do we got? We got a hot mic incident.
So if you guys missed it, umpires are mic'd up this year, right? First time ever. They're micing up players like crazy too. We'll get into that, but we had an ump last night in San Francisco. He didn't realize his mic was on, or he thought it was still off, and he dropped an "oh shit," and as he was making a call after a review. So my question for you, Jeremy, is how have you liked it early on here? Again, I know we're almost a year into it. Are you a fan of the umpires being mic'd up, letting the stadium know what's going on certain calls, et cetera, et cetera?
You know what? At first, when they introduced that, I was kind of like, I was a little skeptical of it, right? Because you're like, okay, well, it's something that NFL does. It's, they this whole like change the pace of the game, trying to speed it up and stuff. I'm like, all right, is that going to slow it down? And are people going to bitch about that? But after seeing it and hearing the crowd reaction when calls get overturned and stuff, I think it's electric. I think it's really cool. I'm happy that they implemented that. I think it's a step in the right direction to make baseball not as boring.
Yes.
Everybody knows baseball's a boring game.
Right.
Yes, there's a ton of excitement for baseball people that understand the game and the chess match that goes behind it, but baseball's boring as hell to watch.
Yeah,
it
is.
But I love it. It's the greatest game in the world.
Yeah, it is.
But adding some excitement like that, that was pretty awesome. And even miking up the players during the game has been incredible. That's actually been my favorite.
That's very cool. Like Adam Wainwright being mic'd up while he was like warming up for his outing the other night. Like that was very neat. But I'm with you. I absolutely love it thus far. And something to think about is we're trying to grow the game of baseball, right? That's what we all want to see. We're trying to grow the game always. To a casual baseball fan, in years past when they go in for a review, right, and they come back, they overturn a call, a lot of people have no idea what just happened. They're like, what? They're like, yo, he's leaving first base now. They're coming off the field. What's going on? What's happening? So to a casual baseball fan, the fact that they have somebody now coming over the mic and explaining their findings and the outcome, I think it's huge. I think it's big for, just for the sport itself. But again, I'm with you. I also think it's electric. I think it's badass. And I personally, I've thought that it's long overdue. I mean, it's an easy thing to throw mics on umpires. And I'm happy that they're finally taking that initiative, and I'm so happy with it. And you get hot mics, you get oh shits or fucks or whatever, and it's funny.
Yeah. Do you remember that? You remember the mic'd up moment? I think it was Bobby Valentine got thrown out, and Tom Hellion came over, and he was like, "My ass is in the jackpot." And like, it was when Bobby Valentine was going off on the home plate umpire, and Tom Hellion came in.
That was in the playoffs. Yeah, that was Terry Collins and
Terry Collins. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That was awesome.
Because Syndergaard threw at Chase Utley after Utley broke
yes, that's right.
Ruben Tejada's leg on the slide. And then Hallian ejects him, and that's when they got all those hot mics. That was hilarious. Yeah. I don't think any of that was supposed to get out to the public.
That was definitely not supposed to be out.
Yeah, I don't know who leaked that, but I'm so glad they did, because that definitely was not supposed to. That was not supposed to be heard by public ears.
I wonder if Major League Baseball looked at that and were like, "Wow, this leak got a ton of publicity and a ton of views. Maybe we should do this." It
probably got millions of views.
Oh yeah,
it probably got millions of views.
Another thing to add on to this too, something that I feel like is a huge value add by adding microphones to players and stuff. You talk to any baseball guy that's played college baseball, minor league baseball. What's the number one thing that you kind of always cherish? To me, it was always the chatter in the dugout. It was always hanging out with your guys. And so these microphones are now, I mean, granted, there's a lot of stuff that is not being broadcasted that's said, right? And you're going to act differently when your guy next to you has a microphone, but it's giving people an inside glimpse of Dugout Chatter or Infield Chatter,
Yeah.
the name of the damn show.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's really giving people an inside look at what is being said, how it's being said. Look at the All-Star game this year. Look at the
Yeah.
All-Star game, like when they mic'd up the pitcher and the catcher, and you can hear the full-on conversation, like what they were
That
going to
was
throw.
incredible.
That was so cool. That
was my favorite part of the All-Star game when they had Nestor and
Yeah.
Trevino mic'd up. And maybe I'm biased because I was a pitcher, but literally they gave us a chance to jump inside the mind of two battery mates in Major League Baseball and their thought process as they go attack an all-star hitter. It was unreal. That was maybe my favorite part of the entire MLB season this year. I was like literally just wide-eyed watching that entire inning.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, can this go on forever? That was
Yeah.
incredible. Incredible.
If you could mic up one player in Major League Baseball right now, who would you want to mic up? Who would you want to listen to? It can be any player. It could be a pitcher. It could even be a manager if you want. But if you could mic up anybody in Major League Baseball right now, who would it be? And why?
Oh, man.
It's a tough question.
I would probably...
I'll kind of stall a little bit.
I got you. Honestly, and I know that this is going to be boring and cliche, but I mean, he's a boring guy. He likes to avoid the limelight, right? Mike Trout,
the center fielder from the Angels, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I mean, you could argue the best player of the decade, whatever you want to say. Probably top 3, top 2 player in baseball behind Shohei and Judge. I don't want it to be Trout. I mean, you never hear him. He's not flashy, which I respect. I respect how he plays. He just goes about his business. He's one of the best players in the world. He keeps his head down. He does it the right way. But at the same time, like I just want to hear from him. You never really hear Mike Trout open his mouth too damn much, and I would just love to hear from him a little bit more, so
now what about a past player? I know we kind of touched on that the other day. I don't know if it was yesterday or not, but if you could mic up a past player, a retired player, a legend, or anybody like that, who would it be to hear their on-field chatter? Who do you think it would be?
That would have. I think the only answer there would be Jackie Robinson, to be honest. Just
really
kind of jump in the brain of what he went through when he was breaking the color barrier,
how he handled
it. I think that is the answer, to be honest.
That's a good one. That I like that one. That's a really good one.
What about you? If you could pick one from right now, who are you picking?
From right now. It's really fun to hear the first baseman's talk. Like I know Freddie Freeman's been mic'd up in the past, and first
when guys get to first base, and
they seem to talk all the time. Who I would want to hear mic'd up? There's actually two. I'll give you two answers. I'll give you past and present. Present right now. Oh my gosh. The two I was going to give you are both actually past. So I kind of threw myself.
Go for it.
Jimmy Rollins.
Oh, okay. J-Roll. Okay.
I would love to hear the shit talking that came out of J-Roll's mouth.
Yeah, I heard he was notorious for his shit talk.
Yeah, and I bet it was hilarious because I think he's pretty well respected by everybody, and so I'm assuming it was shit talking, but it was probably classy shit talking, which makes it even more intriguing to me.
Right, it does.
The other one that I would want to see, I'll go with my answer from yesterday too, is Pedro Martinez.
Oh,
I would love to get into the mind of Pedro when he was up there, like, okay, I'm going to hit you in the ribs. I'm going to back you off the plate, and I'm going to dice you with a sinker away. Like, I want to know what he was thinking. I used to think that same way. I used to talk to myself in my head, like, okay, I'm gonna back this. I'm gonna throw this guy up and in, back him off the plate, and I'm gonna drop a changeup down and away. Like I would go through all the different scenarios, and I would love to think, or I'd love to see what Pedro was thinking.
His mentality is, I love it.
He wanted to kill everybody.
His mentality on the mound, I love it,
including coaches from the Yankees when he tossed what's his name to the ground in that bench.
Yeah,
it was an absolute
the
animal.
90-year-old dude.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Current players, it's kind of a tough one. I would have to say one of the first basemen, like a Freddie Freeman and
Yeah.
stuff, because you're gonna get to hear everybody, right? Or a Joey Votto.
Yeah.
A Joey Votto would be
Yep.
really cool to
That's a
see.
good one. It's tougher for current players, I think, because we hear from them a lot already, whether it be social media or how they are starting to mic up players.
Yeah,
So I'm with you on that one. I'm with you.
yeah. Well, should we ask Chat? See what Chat says.
Chat. Who do you guys want? Who would you guys want to hear mic'd up? One current player or one past player?
Who would be
Who do you guys want to hear?
Who would be
Who
number
do you
one
guys
for
want to hear mic'd up?
I have a feeling I know what Ethan's gonna say.
Ethan's gonna be like Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton,
Yeah, so original.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting one. I think we're gonna start to see more and more of it too.
I agree.
I
agree.
absolutely love it. So, why don't we jump onto the next? Why don't we jump onto the next topic? You want me to take this one?
Go for it. What happened with James Outman?
So, James Outman, outfielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers organization, plays for the Oklahoma City Dodgers right now.
Yep.
Got called up on, what was it, July 31st, and spent 4
Yep.
games in the bigs for the Dodgers. Just hit for the cycle for the second time in 1 week. How incredible is that? How incredible is it to hit the cycle once, let alone twice within a 1 week span? And they
He's
said
got wheels.
he almost hit the cycle in his debut.
Yep, he did. He's got wheels. He's got wheels. The Dodgers just fed him their, secret sauce that they feed everybody to just make him insane. Just like I said before the show, you don't rebuild if you're the Dodgers, you retool. It's got these studs coming up. Outman is no exception. 2 cycles in a week. I mean, part of that is luck. That's my take on it. I mean, you got to get a little bit lucky to hit for a cycle, right? Just a little bit.
Usually on the triple. Usually the triple is something
triple.
that's not really seen. Yeah.
Right. It's like when Benji Molina hit for the cycle. Like he had a triple in Fenway somehow. But no, I mean, that's wild. I mean, Outman, he was pretty good when he was up because he debuted against the Rockies, and I remember he had a good series. But it's just one of those situations where, the Dodgers are the best team in baseball. They're stacked. Like he doesn't have a spot. There's nowhere for James Outman at the big league level in that organization right now.
Isn't that crazy? Kind of speaks to
how
deep the organization is in general.
Exactly.
They got guys like that in the minor leagues. I mean, they would be starters on any other team in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I mean, if I pull up the Oklahoma City Dodgers roster right now, let's see, because I mean, it's just like you said. I mean, it's like a it's like a big league B team almost is what it is. Yeah, but I mean, the Dodgers, they're unreal. I mean, let's see. Yeah, they got Bickford down in the minors right now. I know he's been up most of the year. They got Carson Fulmer down there. They got Victor Gonzalez down there. That dude, that's a rehab assignment. Okay. I was going to say, that dude's been a stud. That dude has been a stud. They got Bobby Miller down there. That dude's big league ready. They got Hansel Robles down there, who is, he literally was the Red Sox closer earlier this year. He was the Red Sox best reliever. I don't know if I should say that, but he was closing games for them this year, and he doesn't even crack the, a long relief spot in the Dodgers bullpen.
So you're a Colorado Rockies fan. Would you take James Outman? Would you start him?
Yeah. Yes.
In a heartbeat, or is it questionable? You said that with no hesitation, so I'm assuming you'd take him.
No, the Rockies were starting Sean Bouchard in the outfield yesterday, who's hitting .091 this year.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, Outman has a 996 OPS in AAA this year. He's hit 25 bombs in Oklahoma City.
How many stolen bases?
And oh, by the way, he has 14 steals.
Jesus.
He's also got a 400 on base percentage. So, yeah.
He can't break into the lineup for the Dodgers because
and they don't got a spot for him. Essentially, It's crazy.
You got Trace Thompson. Trace Thompson. You got Mookie. You got God, pick your poison, right? There's so many outfielders for the Dodgers. You got the reigning MVP Cody Bellinger, who's struggling a little bit at the plate, but yeah, man, holy smokes.
Oh, you also got Andy Burns in AAA. I went to high school with him.
Really?
Yeah, he came up to the Dodgers for literally like a couple years ago, like I think a week. He actually got an appearance on the mound in one of y'all's games, I remember.
During
But
the during the late in the year, the whole September call-ups.
yeah, it was well, no, he's a position guy, and y'all were down big one game, so they threw him out on the mound, like it was a
Oh.
position player throwing. But
We've seen so much of that this year. All these
I
blowouts
know,
happening with all these.
I know.
Do you like that? I kind of think it's. I'm old school. I think it's a little bit. I mean, I understand it. I understand why they're doing it. I hate to see it.
Yeah, yeah, and the Rockies manager Buddy Black put it perfectly because I was watching a game earlier in the year where they threw Brian Servant on the mound when we were down like 16-0 or some crazy shit. Typical, right? Bud Black was like, I absolutely hate to do it because it means you're getting shit on, but it makes sense,
Mhm.
right? It's like why waste one of your arms when you're down 16-0? I don't care if it's the last guy in your bullpen. You know, you never know if you're going to have a 13-14 inning game the next day and need all hands on deck, right?
Yeah.
So I get it. I think for an inning or two. I remember the Diamondbacks a few years ago. Like, actually, they were playing the Rockies. We went up on them 16-0 by the fourth inning. They were throwing position players fourth inning on.
Wow.
That's where it gets a little extreme for me. I think it's acceptable, like, eighth or ninth.
Mhm.
But, like, I mean, if you're playing because, if you're in the fourth inning and you're down big like that, I'm sure you got a young guy in your bullpen that is, trying to solidify himself as a big leaguer or, just keep/earn his spot,
Mhm.
that you could throw 3 to 4 innings. And, if he throws up 3 to 4 zeros, then that could be a career changer for that guy.
Mhm.
Literally, that could be the difference in him being sent back down to AAA after the game versus
Sure.
the front office being like, oh, okay.
Well,
Okay.
you also have bullpens on off days, right? For certain
Yeah.
pitchers that aren't playing. So you
Yep.
could always, instead of throwing a bullpen during that game, you just throw them in there
Yeah.
for live at bats.
Exactly. And just say, and literally tell them like, hey, who cares what happens? Maybe
Yeah.
they have like a fastball changeup side session. Do it in the game. Who cares?
Now,
Who cares?
does that hurt the player based on contract incentives? What if their
It
contract
could.
incentives are like,
It-
if
yep.
your ERA is under a certain amount, then you get a bonus of this, this, and this. So if you're a bullpen pitcher and you're being rolled out there to throw a bullpen live, and you get shelled even more, your ERA
That's
goes
true.
up, you miss out on a bonus. I think there's a lot more behind the scenes that we probably don't know about.
Yeah, that's very true. That's why, like, when it's like a blowout situation like that, like young guys.
Yeah.
I'm going with my
Guys
young
with no
guys,
incentives.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I know we kind of got off topic, but again, just circling back, 2 cycles in 1 week. That's unreal. That's my ending point. I'm just leaving it at that. It's unreal.
You said you got to get lucky. I wonder what his 2 triples look like. I actually didn't get to see that. Maybe I'll look it up. I bet you anything.
Yeah.
Both of his triples were probably down the line, bounced around, kicked away, or something like that. Unless you're playing at like Packville Park or Oracle Park, whatever the hell it's called, where you got triples alley in right center field for the Giants.
Right. Outman is quick, but you're right. He
is quick.
Triples in general. I mean, you got to get a little lucky with a triple in general.
Twice in 1 week though.
Yeah, twice in a week. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, crazy.
That is ridiculous. Shall we move over to the big league club in that organization?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Take that one over, since I know you want to talk about it so much.
The Los Angeles Dodgers are the first team in baseball to win 90 games. They're on like a 45-11 run. It's ridiculous. But they're the first team in baseball to 90 wins. Congrats to the Dodgers.
With no signs of slowing down whatsoever. Yeah,
until the NLCS happens and they shit themselves like usual.
You see the game last night? I mean, you got an NLCS matchup right now.
Who are they playing?
They're playing the Mets.
Who are they playing? Oh, are they?
Yeah.
No, I did not. I was
Dodgers
in
and
the field late
Mets.
last night. I didn't see that. Oh my. Oh no, I did because they beat the Mets. Yeah, I did see that because then the Rockies went and beat the Braves, so nobody gained ground in that division race. So I guess the NL West just owns the East.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I think the Dodgers are gonna run away with it, but I'm not sure. Let me see. What's the Dodgers schedule look like? I know
Who has, and while you're looking at that, I want to see who has the next closest wins in baseball. How close is somebody like, who's the next closest team to 90 wins? I don't even know. Let's see.
Chat, do we know? I wonder, somebody in chat know it's not the Yankees, is it? I know, I heard the broadcast last night saying that the Mets were the third best overall record.
The Dodgers obviously have 90. The Mets have 82 wins. Okay. So there's only two teams in the 80s. So the Dodgers are at 90. The Mets have 82, and the Astros have 83.
Oh,
so
that's
ridiculous.
Interesting.
And I mean, that's crazy. I mean, you got St. Louis leading the NL Central with 75 wins. They're literally 15 games back of the Dodgers, and they're leading that division.
Wow.
Like, are you kidding me?
Well, check out the NL West right now too. Look at the second place team is what, almost 20 games back from the Dodgers. I mean, they're just running away with it.
Yeah. San Diego's 19 and a half back in the NL West.
You know what's crazy to me too is how much, like you look at the division last year, right? The NL West from last year, you had the Dodgers and the Giants both had historic years. They both had over 100 wins, and then you've got the Giants this year that are in the cellar that can't win a ball game. Like,
you want to hear?
Do you want to hear something crazy? The very next year
with the same team minus Buster Posey, same team,
plus
Carlos Rodon. I mean, they're the same team. You want to hear something crazy though? As of last night, this blew my mind. The Giants and the Diamondbacks have the exact same record.
Really?
They're both 61 and 67.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's unreal.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I would love to hear the Giants fans sound off in the comments wherever this is posted, but sound off.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell happened? How do you go from 100 wins to losing your catcher and then having 60 something wins right now?
That's crazy. That's really, really crazy. I mean, honestly, everything, like, again, I know it's a little off topic, so I'll go quick, but everything went right for them last year. Brandon Crawford had I think it has to be. I mean, Brandon Crawford had a career resurgence. You know, Posey in his final year was absolutely incredible. Mm-hmm. Like, you had like all of their like old dudes just decided to like drink from the fountain of youth and have a career year out of nowhere. Like, Brandon Belt was great. Like, you know, so I think it was just everything going right for them. That's what I think it was. But no, I mean, the Dodgers are unreal. I mean, 19 and a half up in what was thought to be a pretty good division. I don't even know if I'd like really say that anymore. I mean, like at the beginning of the year, the NL West, I mean, you were thinking that, I mean, the Padres have disappointed 2 years in a row now in my eyes. Yeah. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs this year, it looks like, but goodness gracious.
Well, how many years in a row did the NL West have two teams go to the playoffs? Right? Usually the NL West, they usually won the wild card.
Yeah, in every year that the Rockies have gone to the playoffs, like they went to the playoffs 2 different years in the like in the later 2010s, there were 3 teams from the West that went to the playoffs.
That's right.
It was both wild card teams were NL West plus obviously the division winner, because we played the Diamondbacks in the wild card game one year, and then I guess the next year it was just 2. It was just 2 after that. But still, there's a lot of years that it's 3 coming from the NL West. But man,
Dodgers are loaded this year, though.
They're loaded.
Look at what you had Freddie Freeman. You could
argue this is their best team during this like insane run that has started since like, I don't know, I'd say 2010 ish.
I'd have to agree.
You know,
I'd have to agree.
This might be their best team.
You look at what's happened too. You had Max Muncy go down in the playoffs last year, right? He dislocated his elbow, and there was thoughts he was going to have Tommy John, and a lot of people were speculating he was going to miss this entire season. But he came back. He struggled a little bit at the plate.
Yep.
And then this last month, Muncy has just been on fire.
He's torn it up.
Yeah, his batting average has gone up like at least 50 points, maybe even more than that. But then you got a guy like Bellinger, who was MVP, who just went in the tank after he dislocated his shoulder. Um,
If you even get a sliver of his old
yeah.
self for a playoff run, then that's such a disgustingly
Well,
scary team.
and then so you add a trade, not a trade Turner. You add a Freddie Freeman MVP. Guy's having an incredible year. You add a Trace Thompson recently, who's come out of
Yep.
nowhere and is just a phenomenal player all the way around. And then, oh yeah, by the way, there's a guy named Joey Gallo that came over and is
And
now
he's been better.
and
He
has
has
now
been
been
better
better.
with the Dodgers.
Hmm.
He has been he's got an 818 OPS since he got traded to LA.
Hmm.
He's only hitting 196, but he's getting on base a lot more. His on base percentage is 339, whereas with the Yankees earlier this year was only 282.
and
So,
and he has hit a handful of home runs. Although
yep.
I will admit, I think a couple of those home runs did come off of position players and blowouts. So
Hey, you know,
home run's a home run, I guess.
my slow pitch softball home runs still count. So Joey Gallo's position player home runs count in my eyes. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, the thing with the Dodgers this year, I would say, in particular, is they just have a ridiculous amount of depth. You know,
Mhm.
they got a ton of depth. So if you can get a lot of these guys, which I'm sure they are, to just buy into their role,
Mhm.
like a Bellinger, you know, or a Gallo, you know, guys that, you know, maybe in a playoff push, maybe those guys aren't starting every single game. Maybe they need to stay locked in to, you know, to get one AB later in the game, or a Trace Thompson. You know, if these guys can all buy into their role, then they got so much depth. They're scary. Not to mention
Mhm.
Clayton Kershaw, who's 90 years old now, is still rocking a low
Mhm.
threes ERA. Is he still hurt?
I think he's pitching today.
Okay.
He's either
Okay.
pitching today or tomorrow, I believe.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's another thing too. You got Kershaw that's kind of been out. Tony Gonsolin just hit the injured list with forearm tightness. But I mean, we got what's his name back. You got Carrot Top that just came back now from
D
Tommy
May.
John.
D
Yeah,
May.
I mean, he's
Well,
a
and here's
nat.
the scary thing too. When I was just pulling up Outman on
Mhm.
Oklahoma City's roster, let's take a look at who's on a rehab assignment for the Dodgers. Oh yeah, Victor Gonzalez, who in their World Series run a few years ago was insane.
Was lights out.
Uh, Tommy Canley.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and then Blake Trinan. You know, just Blake Trinan. Those all three of those guys are on rehab assignments right now.
Next man
They're
up.
literally they are getting three very good bullpen arms back right before the postseason.
Yeah. And our starting pitching has been unbelievable too, with even with Kershaw out. I mean, the Dodgers are so deep. It's fun to watch. Obviously,
Yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
I'm a
I bet
die,
it
I'm a
fucking is.
diehard,
I
but
bet it fucking is fun to watch,
I
Jeremy.
gotta rub it in your face every time. And
I bet it is fun to watch.
even Scuffy, good old Scuffy. I texted him last night after we won. I just said GG. I thought Vogelback was actually going to get a base knock to tie it in the ninth, but never did. So I gotta shoot my shot a little bit every once in a while and kind of brag a little bit. So
Yeah,
I always get
I'll be texting you after the NLCS.
I
for
always
breaking
get
them all.
flack from all my friends. Everybody's like, "Oh man, the Dodgers got the highest payroll and can't win a World Series." So whenever we do good, I have to shoot it back a little bit.
Does 2020 count?
Hell yeah, it counts.
Fuck no.
2020 counts, man.
I'm just kidding.
It definitely counts.
Oh,
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. You think the Dodgers win the whole thing this year? Who's your pick overall?
no, I don't.
Oh, come on now. Who do you got taking? Who do you
So
think?
I called this before the season started. I'm gonna stick with it, although the Yankees are kind of scaring the shit out of me. I'm going Subway Series World Series this year.
Really?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
think the Mets are going to take down the Dodgers?
If I had to audible, I think the Astros are going to win the the American League this year. If I had to audible right now, but I'm sticking with my prediction of Subway Series World Series Yankees in 6.
So right now, do you think if you were to say right now, you think Astros and Dodgers in the series?
Yes. Yep. I would say
Okay.
a rematch. I would say a rematch of the cheating year.
Oh man, I'd love to see it. I would love to just absolutely just annihilate the
Yeah, I'd
Astros.
fucking love to see the
Just to-
Astros win one, so all the people that are saying they're fucking cheaters will shut the hell up.
Yeah, everybody cheats. We all know
Just
it,
kidding.
but
I'm
some just get caught. Others don't. Well,
Oh man.
anything else you want to chat about before we close it up?
I'm all good. I'm all good. Chat as always. Thank you guys.
Jason
You guys
brings
got
up a
anything
good
to
point.
add, chat?
You see what Jason put in the chat? Talks about how important Buster Posey really was to the team.
Yeah, no, and
That's a
I
very
agree
good-
with that.
that's a very good
I
point.
agree with that. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think, I think this is not the best example in the world, but kind of like how we were talking about what Albert means to the Cardinals in a clubhouse sense. I think that was probably times 10 for Buster Posey towards the Giants. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't know that I would say that just losing Posey alone is the reason for them, being 40 games worse this year. But I mean, you got to think that has something to do with it. So
Yeah. Well, and they added Jock Peterson. We forgot about that.
yeah, I mean they're you could argue they're a better team this year. They added
Yeah.
Jock and Rodon.
Rodon, yeah.
And I don't believe they really lost anything other than Posey. I think they retained everything.
Brandon Crawford was out, I think, for a little bit, right? Wasn't he injured
I
for
believe
part of the year?
Yeah.
I
think
I know
so.
their defense has been horrendous. I know they've struggled defensively, but yeah,
the Rockies have to be the worst defensive team in baseball. I've watched them all year. They have to, if they're not the worst defensive team in baseball, I don't know. Then I feel bad for whoever is. I'm literally googling that real quick.
Fielding percentage.
They make so many damn errors. Like they look like my damn JUCO team out there.
But you got Connor Joe.
He's elite in baseball. Team fielding percentage.
What's it looking like?
It is. Oh, that's hitting. I was like, what? Okay, the Rockies are third to worst. They're 28th. The Nationals are 29th. The Pirates are 30th.
Oh man,
we're actually tied with the Nationals, so we're tied for second to last in fielding percentage.
Where are the Giants at on that list? They've got to be towards the bottom of the pack.
Yeah, they're 26th. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, they're the Mariners.
Really? Mariners are
by actually quite a bit, by 0.3, which is kind of a big.
Wow.
Their fielding percentage as a team is .990. They're the only team in baseball that's made less than 50 errors this year as a team.
Wow.
Next closest is the Yankees with 56.
My camera froze up at the perfect time.
Oh, man.
Well,
whew.
I guess that's a good way to end it.
I guess so. I'm all good.
Chat, we'll see you tomorrow. What is today? Today is Wednesday, so
yep.
We're doing
last infield chatter of the week tomorrow, chat. Don't miss it.
Yeah, we're doing the whole Monday through Thursday thing, taking the Friday and the weekend off, regroup, and we'll come back. Come back Monday with a vengeance. But until then, man, stay frosty.
Stay frosty. You have a great weekend, Jeremy. All right.
Hey, thanks, man. You too. Well, actually, we'll see you tomorrow.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm dumb.
Yeah, it's not over yet.
Ignore me. I'm sorry. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Ignore me. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm sorry.
All right. See you, everybody.
See you guys.